All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the 300s podcast. And today we have a very special guest in the studio. We have friend of the podcast, MATTES here. MATTES, how you doing today?
Guys? How are you?
I'm glad to have you. It's good to finally get you on the podcast. I feel like we've been trying to get it for a while.
Yeah, it's been a bit, and considering the fact that we've known each other for a very, very, very long time. Let's see, what are we going on now? 12, 13 years?
Sometime in high school.
So throwback, we were in high school, went through college together, slob cats together, and we survived.
We went from starting to learn how to drink to drinking too much and blacking out and getting sick to not really drinking ever anymore.
Yeah, to learning the effects of alcohol and why, I think past the age of 25, everything goes pretty much downhill in an absolute nosedive. So
we basically have gone from teenagers to now old washed men.
Yeah, exactly. I like to think of myself as a man who's quite there.
I'm distinguished.
Yeah, there we go.
I have a character.
Yes, we certainly do.
All right, so obviously, you know, like the deal. We talk about Boston sports primarily, but we also like to fuck around a little bit. But first, before we get into that, we got to talk about the Celtics. And last night, Game 3 was a little bit of a shit show. After dominating the first two games, the Celtics, they did not look good. I mean, they came out of the gates, they looked slow, they kind of looked like a young team that was feeling themselves a little bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much how the script was supposed to go. You know, you're going back to Cleveland, you know you're not going to win every single game there, especially on the road. And LeBron is LeBron James. I mean, You know, the man's not human. I'd always said, you know, wait for the day he falls in the court and wires just pop out instead of blood. So, you know, you knew he was going to come out strong, but they didn't miss last night. You know, and as bad as the Celtics played, I also think that Cleveland played really well. Yeah,
because that was something like the Celtics didn't look great. They looked like they just weren't ready to play. But the Cavs were on fire. I mean, they were hitting, I think it was 52% from three, plus 50% from the field. Compare that to the first two games where they were like 15% and 32%. So, I mean, you knew that the Cavs were going to get hot. You knew they were going to start shooting better, especially for a team that's so dependent on the three-point shot all year long. But to go from 15 and 30 to 50, I mean, what are you going to do in that situation?
Yeah, and if you can't keep up, it's not that they can't keep up, but last night they couldn't keep up offensively. And if you remember back to the beginning of the year, there were times before, you know, Tatum started off pretty well at the beginning of the year, but then he kind of hit a little bit of a wall. And there was this lull period where there wasn't a lot of scoring off the bench. It was before Terry took off, before Tatum really established himself, before Morris kind of got hot. And I think last night it kind of reared its ugly head again a little bit because you had Jalen who was taken out of the game pretty early, or at least out of the rhythm of the game. Horford taking 4 shots, you know, him not getting anything there. You know, it just didn't seem like a lot of guys got going last night. Tatum had a good game, but...
Yeah, and I think that people kind of started forgetting with how well the young guys have played the first two games. They forgot, you know, they're 19 and 20 years old. Tatum, you know, he's been in the league for, 7 months at this point? I don't know, whenever the season started. The guy was at Duke last year. The guy can't grow a beard.
Yeah.
And Jaylen Brown looked like an absolute all-star, superstar in the first two games. He was going off. No one could guard him. Then he gets to Cleveland in this game, and he definitely has a setback. He only had 10 points last night. But he also got in foul trouble early. I think he got his fourth foul. His fourth foul was before people were sitting down from getting their beers at halftime. So it's kind of hard to play like that. He even said post-game that it's hard to guard LeBron James and you can't touch him. So the Cavs were getting a little bit of home cooking with the referee giving them some fouls that maybe they shouldn't have. But the young guys took a step back last night, which probably shouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah, and LeBron's always going to get that in Cleveland, you know.
Yeah.
There was one foul in particular last night where I think, you know, you look back and it was semi-Ojale on him. He might have got him a little bit on the shoulder. But at the same time, I almost can't even get mad because LeBron... I'm a LeBron supporter. I really am. I mean, I think he's a bit arrogant and he can certainly be douchey. I mean, there's no one douchier than LeBron when he wants to be. He's pretty good at being a douche. But he's also just, if you're a basketball fan, you have to respect him. And it's just magic at work. And you had said earlier, too, a lot of people that compare him to Magic Johnson more so than Jordan was because of he's a wizard with the ball.
Yeah.
To be that big and that talented and to be looked at as a small forward who's also played some power forward, but you can also play point guard, and it's just absolutely incredible. And some of the passes he was making last night, through the legs, through others' legs, through Horford's legs, I almost can't even get mad, and you're like, it was going to happen. You knew there was going to be one of those games this series.
Yeah, it was insane watching him last night. You know, it is every night. Game 2, he had 45 points or whatever it was. And in Game 3, he just, like you said, he looks just like Magic Johnson. He's crazy with the ball. he shouldn't look like it. Like if you look at Marcus Morris and Greg Monroe and LeBron, they're all similar size, but like Greg Monroe, he's a big man. He's a center. Marcus Morris, he's a big guy that can shoot. He can't handle the ball. LeBron handles the ball like a friggin' point guard. And just the way he's moving the ball around. Like last night, there was the play where he got double teamed. He somehow hooks the ball around the two defenders for an easy layup. And just like you can't defend that. And then there's another play where he's driving to the hole. He gets to the basket, he jumps up, and I don't know if it was Jalen or someone is contesting the shot. And he's mid-air, like deciding what to do at the last moment. And in the last second, he sees someone in the corner and whips a pass just with one hand around the guy for a perfect wide open three.
No problem.
Like the guy's got incredible court vision. So LeBron is a guy that he's a total douche. I can't stand him sometimes, but as a basketball fan, he's incredible. So I remind myself, this is one of the best players of all time. So enjoy watching this guy, even as much as he does get us in recent years. Watching him just kind of dominate like that on the court is incredible.
Yeah, and I think that, there are people that get upset when he gets compared to Jordan still, and I don't understand it. I mean, I think he has to be, if he's not your one, then you're two. I think it's hard to argue. Sure, you have guys like Kobe Bryant or some of the other greats, but you think about the fact that if he makes this would be his 8th straight final, which is insane. And you look at the guys around him, and he really doesn't have anyone. I mean, Kevin Love, don't get me wrong, very good player, all-star level player who I think would be a decent 2, phenomenal 3 on a good team. But Cleveland doesn't have that too. You get guys like J.R. Smith who, when they get hot, such as last night, and hit every shot they make, they can be dangerous. But the fact that he was still able to carry this team to this point is impressive. I think pound for pound, if you look at the rosters, I do think the Celtics actually have more depth. I think we have a better team, better talent overall than the Cavs.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, and I've been saying this since the start of the series, which is why I picked the Celtics in 7. They are, despite the injuries, they are deeper as far as scoring threats. I mean, you have Jaylen Brown, you have Jason Tatum, you have Al Horford. Marcus Morris is good for 20. Terry Rozier can pop off for 20 or 30 in any given night if he gets hot. Even Marcus Smart has his games where he can score, and that guy's an option. Whereas the Cavs, obviously, it's LeBron, and then there's Kevin Love. After that, it's kind of, it's anyone's guess who's gonna score, and that's why him getting to potentially his 8th straight final is incredible. And I still would give Jordan the nod as the GOAT just because 6 titles.
Of course.
With LeBron, I feel like people's argument is always, he drags these teams, he gets this far with a bunch of bums around him. The only thing I say to that is, he put himself in this position. He's forced the team to build aging old rosters with guys like, they brought in Isaiah Thomas and, they traded Kyrie Irving and all the guys that they bring in over the years. It's usually because it's his buddies or it's guys that he thinks are going to help him, his game style. Like even Tristan Thompson, he's good sometimes, he's a friggin' bum other times. That team's locked into so many old aging contracts that, they're not going to get any better next year. So if they don't beat the Celtics this year, he's looking around. He might jump ship anyways.
Yeah, I think he's gone. I think he's gone. I mean, I was just talking about this the other day. Is it too early for where's LeBron going talk? Even if they get to the finals, even if they beat us, because again, shot. I think it was very humbling last night. Of course, I didn't think we were going to sweep them. I do still think we'll win the series, but even if he gets to the finals, they're not winning the finals, and you have to start thinking about where he's going. But kind of look at what happened to LeBron this year, where you trade Kyrie Irving, a very strange situation, because they say Kyrie kind of forced his hand, the Cavs' hand, but did you actually have to trade him at this point? Could you have salvaged it, or the things that you could have done? Yeah, maybe. But Danny Ainge, man, how does he keep doing this? He basically gets Kyrie Irving for a first-round pick. I love Isaiah Thomas, but it's going to be very interesting to see where his career goes from this way out. I think he's a tough dude. I think he'll bounce back somewhere next year, but I don't think he's ever going to be that player that he was here. Jay Crowder, decent role player out in Utah, and the 8th pick could be anyone from an all-star to a janitor in 6 months. And no disrespect to janitors, but the draft picks are such a crapshoot, and I just, at this point, I feel like we lost nothing. We had 2 top 3 picks 2 years in a row, and for to bring him in, so LeBron could sit there and kind of go to Cavs management and be like, what did you give me? You gave away the best player that I've had since D Wade.
The only thing I say to that is the reason Kyrie wanted out so bad was because it got so bad with LeBron.
And that's fair, and I think that's true. But at the same time, if I'm the Cavs, I don't know if you're going to be getting a much better deal than was offered to you by Danny Ainge.
Yeah.
But I still don't know if I'm pulling the trigger on that, because what else do you have after that to help LeBron? To keep him there.
And
what do you have to offer?
It's worked out incredible, because I remember when the trade went through, everyone was saying, this is why I couldn't be a GM. I love Isaiah. And looking back now, it was a great deal for the Celtics. Kyrie, we all agreed Kyrie was a much better player, but just watching Isaiah last year, everything he went through, how well he played, it's just, he was such a fan favorite. I wouldn't have been able to trade him myself. That's why I'm not a GM. So Danny trades him, and essentially we traded an injured Isaiah, Jay Crowder, Zizic, and a first-round pick, which was the Brooklyn pick, and that was kind of what everyone was worried about for giving in this trade for the Cavs. And credit to Danny Ainge, he hoards these draft picks for years. He won't trade them for shit. He's got to hold on to them. It's just like a running joke how many assets Danny holds, and he won't dish them. And then, at the very last possible point, he dumps the last Brooklyn pick. He jumps off, he bails on, he trades it, and it drops to the 8th overall pick. That's fucking hilarious.
I will never say anything bad about Danny Ainge again.
You can't. People were shit talking because he has only won one title, but the way the NBA works, he's in the absolute best possible position without having a mega super all-star fall into your lap.
Yeah, and let's not forget, and I hate being this guy, but if you actually, it should have been 2. If Kendrick Perkins doesn't get hurt, and if Rasheed Wallace plays a little harder for a full 48.
Rasheed's a fat fucking bum.
If he played it the way he wanted, how he was capable of for a full 48, we might have had it. But anyway.
That guy was wheezing in Game 7.
I digress. But you just look at this offseason, everything that he'd done. Everyone's talking about Kyrie Irving. That guy, what's his name? Gordon Hayward. We get him back next year, too.
Good player to
so
get back.
We get 2 perennial all-stars coming back to this team next year, which is just silly to think about.